Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonah and today we are taking a look at the best hero to carry with in Overwatch. Just right before we start this video, I just have a quick announcement that my Twitch schedule have now been set back 2 hours from what it originally were. If you want to check out those timestamps, then just go down the description, go to my Twitch and check on the schedule. It should be updated by now, and of course, as always, I announce it on Discord. For those of you who don't follow too much attention on Twitch, I do announce on Discord every time I'm going live. Thank you for the amazing support, and let's just jump right into this video. Now, I had to clarify what I mean by a carry hero. A carry hero is a hero that I feel that you are in control of what's going on, and you can impact the gameplay so much that you can give your team a huge advantage, and thereby winning the game. However, it needs to be something that to a certain extent you can do as the individual hero. So for example, even though I do believe in the current meta, playing Mercy is something that is very valuable, and being a good Mercy, understanding Mercy is an easy way for you guys to rank up. I'm not gonna put it on as a carry hero just by the definition that you every time you want to do something, it's you heal your teammates so they need to do something, you damage boost your teammates so they need to get kills, and you res teammates, meaning it's really nice if they know how to do something. But if your team is getting snowballed, or your DPS is not good, or your tank's not good, or whatever, you are not gonna be able to impact that gameplay because you are supporting players, and even though the support that you give them are gonna give them a huge edge against the enemy team, in the long run, if your team is to a certain extent shit, you don't have much that you can do to change that. You can't do really much about it. Just have that in mind, and of course, I do believe you can win with playing any hero. You can one-trick any hero in this game. You can hit Grandmaster. Not even a problem as long as you're good enough at that hero. Now that that disclaimer is done, let's go into the heroes that I believe is the best for you guys to play to rank up. Now, let's start at the support, then go over to the tanks, and then take the DPS heroes. In the support, even though I believe that most supports are really strong, the same with Mercy goes for me for Lucio. The only thing that I think he's really good is on maps where you can boot players off, but the skill cap is very high, and you need to be exceptionally Lucio to be able to hardly carry with him. Therefore, the heroes is number 1 is Ana. She is a beast. Even though she's not that good in the current meta right now, she is still a beast to be reckoned with. And essentially what it is because first of all, you have insane healing. Of course, you can heal your entire team. You can spread out the healing nice evenly, and I do believe she's the best solo healer in the game, even though Mercy is more meta than her as of making this video. However, you are still in control of the match. Sleep Dart is a strong tool. You can get an easy kill because of it. You can stop an enemy offense, you can stop tanks, ultimates, whatever. You can shut down a lot of stuff going on there. On top of that, you have your Biotic Nade, which can, of course, save your teammate, can help yourself getting saved, but also used to cripple the enemy team by landing a good heal deny either on a tank, or in general just landing a huge heal deny on the enemy team will weaken them and almost make their support line useless, depending on how big that nade is. And that alone, including the fact that you can DPS very well if you know how to quickscope, which I made a guide on, and if you're really good with Ana, it's one of the better carry heroes in the game. On top of that, her ultimate is really strong for you guys to win team fights. And then of course the second hero of the support category that I will label as a good carry, and by support right now I'm only talking about the ones that can heal, so Symmetra will not be mentioned, is Zenyatta. And of course it's for very similar reasons. First of all, he has insane frag potential. If you're good Zenyatta, you can frag like a DPS. He is essentially DPS. His right clicks or a secondary fire where he charges up, it can one tap a DPS. Not a problem, you can melt tanks. Disco Dops are really strong, especially in this meta. And you know, he has a pretty good healing, especially focus healing, like he can drop onto some of those flankers. And his ultimate builds so fast, and it shut down most of the DPS ultimates. Doing that, you have a saving grace on your team. So if you run Zen and a Mercy, for example, you have a saving grace that can stop stuff like nano blades, or in general just standard blades, visors, whatever. You can stop most of these damage over time ultimates that is really dangerous for your team. And while you can do that and frag at the same time, he's absolutely amazing. And if you get good on him, a very good carry. Then we go straight over to the tank lineup, and we'll start up with the tank that is essentially DPS, and that's of course our dear Roadhog. Roadhog, with the insane amount of damage they can do, will cripple the enemy team's shields, which of course will help you support your team. But on top of that, getting a hook which can shut down and deny the enemy team so much. You are such a force to be reckoned with. You can sustain yourself for a long period of time, doing that. You can constantly be in the fight. If you're good aim, you're good with those hooks, you can be in the fight for a long period of time and do a lot of havoc to the enemy team. You can hook people and get a lot of kills. Even though you can't one-tap anymore, it doesn't mean that he is not viable. He's insane to shred tanks and other DPSs, and a hook that almost one-tabs one of the DPSs. As long as it's not a Genji or Tracer, the DPS is normally dead. And if it is a Genji or Tracer, that Genji or Tracer will have to back off, which will allow your team a lot of room. And his ultimate is very, very strong. It can be used to shut down Dragon Blades. It can be used to just push players off the point. Kill secure, comboed with stuff like a Graviton. And in general, Roadhog is a very, very strong hero, and personally one of my favorite tanks to play right now. Then of course we have the Russian Zarya coming at you. When a Zarya finally gets 100% charge, and you have to see her a little bit, and she's a little bit kind of weird in this meta right now, but you have to look at her, and if you know that you can get high charge and you're good with her tracking and a right click, she's a beast. Her damage output is insane. She can melt tanks, she can pressure DPSs such as Genji, to make them back off, and her ultimate, of course, if you have a problem with getting through a choke, you have a problem with a map, if you can get a Graviton up, you can land a Graviton, hopefully chain it with a DPS, maybe one of your friends, play Hanzo or Tracer or Genji or McCree or really anything with a DPS. Even if your friend plays the Roadhog, you can chain it with most of the things. Of course, you can also support your team by saving them. With putting a bubble on someone is immense. It will most likely save their lives, grant you a lot of energy, which do that you are a more valuable DPS than DPSs themselves if you're 100% charged. Because you're so hard to kill, you can just run past most people and melt them insanely fast, and you're forced to be reckoned with if you're Zarya. And then, one that I think not everyone will have to notice is Deva. Now, to play Deva, especially in higher levels, you need to have very good understanding of Deva. She might be a very basic hero mechanically, but she's very, very strong in your decision making when to use defense measures and when not to. But her burst damage right now is insane. You can just fly past and get a pick almost immediately. You counter most tanks, you counter most type comp, you can just shred Winston, you can shred tanks, and essentially you can pressure people so much now that you either kill them or make them back off. Her ultimate's kind of on the weaker end of the spectrum. It's always been like that with self-destruct, but if used correctly, as some of you guys have seen on my Twitch stream, especially when I play around with Hake around the 4.1k average, when I play on Deva, it's very well thought out and it can be insanely strong, and personally one of my favorite carries. Now, I do believe that the tank category is the best category for carrying. If you want to climb, I do believe that playing tanks are a little bit on the easier side. I'll make a video talking about why I believe this, and I believe that you can carry with most tanks no problem, especially Winston. Reinhardt right now a little bit weird, a little bit can be hard to carry with, but especially I could have added Winston. I'm not gonna add a Winston because I do believe you're a little bit too reliant on the team, so I'm just gonna mention these 3 off tanks here. But still, just have that in mind. Of course, a good Reinhardt, a good Winston is always a good way for you to make your team win. And now we're coming over to the DPS lineup, where most of you probably want to be. And some of you might be surprised that I, as a Genji main, do not mention Genshin here. I do not mention him because of the skill cap that he has. And essentially that's why I'm not going to mention him. What I'm going to mention here is, first of all, McCree. I do believe McCree is one of the best hit scans in this game, because of the way that he has burst damage. Comparing to Soldier, where Soldier has very high pressure damage, very, very high poke damage, and of course he can burst with Helix Rocket, and if you land a good succession of headshots, but he doesn't have the same kind of burst damage as McCree, and McCree's burst damage is just mentally insane. You go to someone, you land a headshot, that's 140 damage, you can one-tap Traces with your good flashbang headshot combo, and essentially, he is a god. Of course, High Noon also being a strong ultimate. If you know how to use it, it can actually be very, very devastating and give you about 1 kill per ult use. Then we have the other hit scan, Tracer, which it's very much the same. High mobility and recall, of course, so you can harass in the backline, and insane high burst damage, doing that you can get killed very fast. On top of the fact that you build pulse bomb very, very fast, so in the first team fight, if you focus tanks and you're good enough, you can almost build a pulse bomb and have that ready for that fight, so you can get one guy out of the picture if you're good enough with aiming with it. And there's the whole thing with Tracer. Her damage output are so high and she can be so hard to deal with that she is very, very easy to carry with if you know what you're doing. On defense, and this I will only say on defense, I know you can do him on offense, but personally I only enjoy him on defense. I think he's the stronger on defense. We have Junkrat, and a good Junkrat is just devastating. With 2 mines and his damage, his traps, and his wheel, he is an essential carry. He is so good at defense. You just bomb people, the damage output that you have is insane, and now with 2 mines that we've had, you can also kill secure your own kills. So even if your team cannot follow up on damage, which has been the problem before, and that's why some of these high spam damage heroes can be a problem, because it doesn't matter if you make the enemy team low all the time if no one dies. Now with the mines, you can kill secure. All you need to do is land one directed with a bomb, throw 1 mine and detonate it in them, and that's a free kill for a 200 HP hero. Of course, his traps, locate them wherever you really want, and his prime real estate, waiting for someone to step onto them so you can get a kill, or at least get a warning that hey, there's someone trying to flank us. And his wheel is a lot of time an easy 1-2 picks per use. Now here as a disclaimer, here I could also put Genji, but Hanzo and Widowmaker are insane carry heroes. I would say especially Hanzo, due to his fact that he has Scatter Arrow and Whizzing Arrow and his Dragon Strike. However, I will not mention it, again, due to the high skill cap. You need so good aim to actually be very consistent with them, and it takes so much practice. So unless you are very, very highly ranked with your Hanzo or your Widowmaker, they are kinda niche picks. However, as soon as you get really good with them, they are insane carry because of the burst damage potential. So just want to throw those 2 out there as a kind of honorable mention. And the last DPS hero that we have here on the list is Reaper, actually. A hero that we don't see that much often. It can be very hardly counted, especially in higher rank, but especially for you guys that's in low rank. Let me say, like, maybe Diamond and below. Maybe around that rank, right? Like 3100 rank and below that, so low Diamond and down. Reaper is insane, because that in those ranks, like in gold rank, for example, people don't know how to deal with a Reaper. And Reaper is very strong, 250 HP. He can Wraith Form backwards and generally be invulnerable. He has Death Blossom, which is a very strong ultimate, even though it does create a lot of setup and you need to be very good with that. But if you get it off properly, it's an insane ult. And the amount of damage he has, he can just shred people. He can take down most heroes in about 2 shots if you're okay at aiming with him. Maybe you have to deal that up to 3 shots, but he's so strong. You just melt people, just walk right through them, and most people are not a problem as long as you can manage to cut that distance. If you are having a problem with him and stuff like that, then maybe get a friend on Lucio, get a friend on Winston, or just playing on defense, and where you can hold close quarters, especially on the first parts of the map. Besides that, guys, I hope you do enjoy. Drop down your favorite carry heroes and why down in the description. There's always the links to everything that you want to see, all my social medias and all that stuff. I hope you guys really enjoy the content. Thank you so much for the amazing support. As always, guys, my name has been Jonal, and keep the enemy in your crosshair.